Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, December 17th, 2020. I'm Keith Tebow. This week, the first snowstorm of the season hit Fall River. We get an update on how the city dealt with all that snow. Governor Baker is looking for residents to be smart about how they handle holiday gatherings as a way to curb the spread of COVID-19. We get a feel at how local businesses are faring this holiday season, and we preview the Christmas in Fall River concert this weekend with the Sons of Serendip. All this and more coming up. The first snowstorm of the 2020-21 winter season struck Fall River today, and as of this morning, the city reported about 6 inches of snow on the ground. During our weekly visit with Mayor Coogan, he tells us the city had 110 pieces out cleaning the streets with limited problems with residents not adhering to the city's parking ban.
It seems like they're staying on top of it. Obviously, the main streets, we brought in some additional pieces to keep the what we call our main connectors, like Eastern Avenue, Brayton Avenue, Plymouth Avenue, all open. And we're still working on some of the side streets. But I would say overall, our phones have been very, very quiet all night for people calling about anything. So that's a good sign in the city of Fall River. I think we gave out a bunch of tickets last night. Again, it's the first parking ban we've had in a while. I don't know if we did any last year, but people have to understand that we need to keep the roads clear for fire, emergency vehicles, anything that has to get down them, and that's why we put in a parking ban. It's not just for snow removal; it's for safety.
Latest now on the COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Charlie Baker this week made a plea to state residents to limit their contact to within those in their household this holiday season. This comes on the heels of a sharp increase in COVID infections, hospitalizations, and deaths that occurred 2 weeks following the Thanksgiving holiday.
After seeing what happened in the aftermath of that one day, Thanksgiving, I don't think we should kid ourselves about the holidays in December. I'm pretty sure I'm stating the obvious here, but the holidays won't be the same as they've been before. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's Eve, they simply can't, and for most people won't be the same. But I'm here today to say that we really can't have them be the kind of consequential event that Thanksgiving has been here in Massachusetts. We really do need the help of everybody to make sure that we don't have a repeat, so that our hospital system can continue to provide the critical medical care that it does so well for those who need it. And I can't emphasize enough that this is not forever. This is once, one time, 1 month, 1 year, where Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's Eve really do and should be different. Next year, we'll probably be able to celebrate those holidays just like we used to, but not this year.
It was announced last week by Mayor Coogan that individuals doing business at Government Center must now do so by appointment only. As the cases of new COVID infections in Fall River remain steady, Mayor Coogan is reluctant to add any additional restrictions on local business, a practice that has been undertaken in other communities.
You look at the restrictions that other communities have added, and they really don't even apply to us. Rope climbing and gyms. I'm a member at the YMCA, and I can't tell you what a great job they do down there in the morning. You're not allowed to be anywhere near anyone else. You have your mask on all the time. Every piece of equipment is cleaned as soon as you get off it. So I don't know how that could be any safer. I was down at that movie last week. They filmed at the Big Mamie, that you had to be tested before you went on. You had to keep social distance. You had to wear an N95 mask and a screen. I don't know how that could be any safer. I think people, the problem where we are stuck on the numbers in Fall River really seems to be people that are sick or not feeling well, going to work, jeopardizing others, not being prudent getting a test, go home, wait for your results, then go to work. But they're going to work. They're going to work sick, and it's. I know that some are asymptomatic, and I can't blame them because they don't even know they're sick. But the ones that don't feel well or are interacting with other people when they're sick, it's really bumping our numbers up. And these household gets-togethers are the other thing we're just keeping an eye on. And I really don't know what policy we could put in place that would limit that, and other than knocking on the door and counting people in houses, which we have no interest in doing and we're not going to do.
The COVID-19 vaccine began arriving in Fall River as South Coast Health received nearly 2,000 doses this week. Frontline healthcare workers at Charlton and other local hospitals are among the first to receive the vaccine. The Fall River Public Library announced this week that its South End branch at 58 Arch Street will be closed effective on Friday. Mayor Coogan says the city's lease on the building was not renewed, but the library is looking at ways to still serve patrons of the South End.
The other tenant in the building needed more space, and I guess they negotiated with the landlord to take over the entire building. So they're a very noteworthy nonprofit that just needed some additional space. We looked at the numbers of people that were coming and going out of that library. I think I saw maybe a high at 25 and maybe a low at 20 a day. So that it was costly. And again, we don't want to neglect the people in the South End. So we're trying to find a way to accommodate people across the city with additional services other than our main branch. What we've discussed, and obviously this is during COVID, is maybe getting a mobile library going. That way we could go to the Flint Senior Center one day a week, go back down to the South End, and move one of those mobile libraries around the city to accommodate people in different sections. And I think that might be a better way to reach out and help all the citizens have access to books. And maybe we can have a laptop or a couple laptops in there if they need to get on a computer for a little while, but we set up in different places. The cost on those is, we've seen anything from $100,000 to $250,000. So it's a little cost prohibitive, but I think if there's a way to do that, I think we can accommodate more people and get exposure to the library to more sections of the city. I envision it setting up in parks in the summer for kids and visiting our high rises and letting people take books in and check out if that's what they want to do. So we may go that route. A permanent lease, I don't know about at this time, but we're looking at other ways to get our library present in all sections of the city.
U.S. District Court Judge Douglas Woodlock has set February 22nd as the trial date for former Fall River Mayor Jason Correa, who's facing 24 counts of corruption, extortion, and conspiracy. Now, the date comes on the heels of a guilty plea tendered this week by co-defendant and former Correa Chief of Staff, Genevieve Andrade. Judge Woodlock has taken Ms. Andrade's plea deal with prosecutors under advisement. At a hearing this week, Prosecutor Zachary Hafer and Correa attorney Kevin Reddington agreed on the new proposed trial date, which will now encompass all counts against the former mayor. Former Mayor Correa faces 13 counts of corruption for cheating investors through his now defunct Snow Owl app company. The remaining 11 counts stem from allegations that the former mayor extorted cash in exchange for favorable non-opposition letters to prospective proprietors of recreational marijuana facilities. Attorney Hafer estimates that the trial may last up to 3 weeks. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Rehab Director, Health Pro Heritage, located at 495 New Boston Road, is looking for a full-time rehab director for Kimwell House, responsible for recruiting and retaining rehab service personnel and maintaining a clinical caseload. Job number 143-31781. Staff Accountant, Bank 5, located at 79 North Main Street, is in need of a full-time staff accountant to provide accounting and clerical support to the finance department and prepare and maintain accounting documents and records. Job number 143-31558. Cook, Next Step Healthcare, located at 1748 Highland Avenue, is seeking a full-time cook to prepare and cook food in large quantities according to diet, consistency, and cycles of menu. Job number 143-28770. Star, located at 400 Stanley Street, is in need of the following full and part-time positions. Addiction counselor, job number 143-32833. Painter, job number 143-32670. Massachusetts Trial Court, located at 186 South Main Street, also is in need of the following full and part-time positions. Case specialist, job number 143-20417. Head account clerk, job number 143-20419. For more information on these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Charlton Memorial Hospital and St. Anne's Hospital in Fall River showed mixed results in the latest hospital safety grades by a national nonprofit organization on healthcare safety and quality. Charlton received a C grade while St. Anne's earned an A grade. The Leapfrog organization focuses on 27 measures of how well hospitals protect patients from preventable errors, accidents, injuries, and infections. Charlton performed below average when it comes to infections incurred by patients, as well as instances of patients experiencing bed sores. Meanwhile, St. Anne's performed above average across all measurements, earning their A grade. Fall River Freshman City Councilor Michelle Dion came into her first year in office with no preconceived notions on how to serve the people of the city. She soon found out that effecting change requires patience. Councilor Dion says having attended many council meetings as a resident should have prepared her to serve. She soon found out that that was not the case.
But I will say there's definitely a big difference being on the inside versus the outside. You know, you have more information. You're able to do more research. I think the thing that I struggle with the most is we all know that government moves slowly, but I didn't realize how slowly until now. But I think, there's so many steps in a process. You try to you try to make change. You try to you come up. I think overall as a council we've done pretty well, and we've tried to be positive. We've tried to move forward, and I think we have succeeded. But we still have things that aren't completed yet, and I think it's just because there's always so many steps involved.
Councilor Dion says she and other councilors thus far have had a constructive working relationship with Mayor Paul Coogan. One of her top issues since taking office has been helping the city pay for the increased cost in the disposal of trash and recyclables.
And that's why I keep talking about revenues and not turning my head to any form of revenue. We've talked about the billboards again. We've talked about maybe advertising on vehicles. It hasn't progressed yet, but every time I drive by the Lewiston Street on the highway, I look over and I think to myself, imagine if we could have 4 billboards on that building at $50,000 a year revenue. That's $200,000. And even if we earmark that money for trash to reduce the cost of trash for the taxpayer. It's about trying to make everything more equitable. It's about fairness. Maybe in the end result, we don't need to take the businesses off. Maybe there's another avenue we can follow, but we need to get a handle on it. We need to be able to afford it, and we need to be able to do what's best for the city.
As we head toward the end of December, we often see stories of those reflecting on the year that will soon come to an end. Well, we asked some local newsmakers what they thought made the year 2020 unique.
Back in March, I didn't know what the hell Zoom was. I thought it was a song. My kids used to watch a show called Zoom, and I had that song in my head. It's just living. It's the new normal, which I don't think is going to change. I think that we've all come to realize that employees, my staff, can be just as productive working from home as they can working in the office. What I miss the most, though, is the personal. I'm a social animal. I like to be with people. I like to have a conversation with people. I like to break bread. You know me, it's all about the food. I like to, let's have a lunch meeting or a dinner meeting, and food makes conversations go better, I think. So, I miss that a lot. I miss not having social interactions face to face with people a lot. But that will come, but it's going to be a new normal as we go forward.
Business's ability to pivot. And the other one, which kind of goes hand in hand with that, is people's ability to collaborate. The collaborations that came out of nothing this year were just phenomenal. And then some of the organizations that had been collaborating a little bit were really, really jumped in with both feet. And we just saw some fantastic things that people did all throughout and they're still going on. The food security group that has been delivering food, all throughout the pandemic in the Fall River area is just phenomenal. The pods that some of the not-for-profits created for the learning pods are just phenomenal. There's just, collaborating and pivoting they're the two things that really have driven this year, that have made people succeed this year.
That old Elton John song, "I'm Still Standing," has been kind of a watchword for us. And we've seen, as Mike had intimated, we've seen so much in the way of community involvement, rallying, and people rallying together who often didn't always talk to each other about getting the shared job done. So I could not be more proud of the area where we live, where people have pulled together like that. And our businesses have suffered, yes, but they've also found new ways. And we've all found new ways of doing things that are going to have some staying power. So we couldn't be happier to see 2020 in the rearview mirror. But at the same time, we know that there are some things that we gained from it that are going to make us a better, stronger, and more resilient region.
People talk about it from time to time, the resilience of the people in this city. One thing that the people in this city they don't give up. People in Fall River are fighters. And as bad as everything has been, unfortunately, we're going to lose some businesses, but you see them every day, pounding the pavement, striving to succeed, striving to stay afloat. I don't know. I think it's just the tenacity and the will to always make Fall River a better place and to try to come up with ideas and try to come up with formulas that will enhance that and make life better for people in this city.
Finally this week, Mayor Paul Coogan and Bay Coast Bank are sponsoring Christmas in Fall River, a special television holiday concert this weekend. The concert features Sons of Serendip, a local band that was a finalist on America's Got Talent.
We just want people to come together, bring your family, social distance, of course, together and to spread the word about it. Because this season is a very special season and a year that has been very difficult for a lot of people. And so we do hope that that this holiday concert is able just to add a little bit of joy and some hope to people's lives, and to also give folks a moment to reflect on the things that they're grateful for and the people in their lives who might just need a helping hand during this season, because it's a lot of joy, but it's also that there was a lot of loss this year. And so we do hope that this can help and resonate with people who are celebrating in all different kinds of ways and experiencing this in all different kinds of ways. So we're looking forward to just sharing this music and sharing this moment with you guys.
The concert, filmed at the Narrow Center for the Arts, airs Saturday at 8 p.m. on the CW Providence, which is on channel 813 on Comcast Cable. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Boba down here. Boba, like Boba Fett for all the science fiction fans out there. Boba is about 3.5 now, and as you can see, he very much likes getting attention. He just rolls right over and gives you, his belly. So he's a very trusting cat, very affectionate cat. Like I said, he just soaks this stuff right up. So he's a little bit of a mix of different personalities. Some playful, some just hang out and chill. So if you're looking for the kind of cat that has a little mix of everything, he's kind of that cat. Kids, he would do well with, I believe. Like I said, he's pretty chill himself. Doesn't seem to be fazed by much. So if you'd like to come and meet Boba, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter. Today we have Maisie. Miss Maisie here is just about 3 years old now. She is a tabby and white kitty, and as you can tell, she very much likes her pets and her head scratches. She's a pretty affectionate cat. She would be okay with kids as long as they weren't too much for her. Not that I think that she would get defensive with them, but I think it would just be a little mean for her to have kids tossing her around, that kind of jazz. So she's a pretty affectionate and versatile cat. So if you'd like to meet Maisie, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. This is our last edition of FRC Media News for 2020. Over the next 2 weeks, we'll be airing a special edition of the show, looking back at what made news in Fall River in the year 2020. And what a year it was. That program will debut next Wednesday, December 23rd at 6 p.m. FRC Media News traditionally airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. We will end the show this week with a look back at last weekend's Santa's Jolly Ride motorcade through Fall River. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great holiday. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.